Hello everyone and welcome to the first in a long line of HS Elements tutorials. I'm Robin and I would like to take this moment to welcome you to our community. Today we're going to learn how to create an Egyptian tomb scene using our assets. So let's dive right in. I've got a clip on the timeline of me in front of a blue screen holding a flashlight. And so we're going to take that and we're going to find an area just 5 or 10 seconds or so where I'm in front of the blue screen, and we're going to isolate that off and we're going to drag it to the beginning of the timeline. And then once we've done that, we're going to grab the freehand mask tool. If you're using After Effects or something else, I'm using HitFilm, but if you're using another software, you can easily just translate the things I'm saying. These are all very simple things. So I'm going to draw just a rough, crude mask around the interior of the blue screen, nothing too fancy. And then I'm going to drag on the chroma key effect, and of course if you're using something else, they will have their own blue screen or green screen effect. So I'm going to drag that onto my video clip of me in front of the blue screen. And then I'm going to go in and select the color of the blue screen, which will remove it. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to add a white plane. If you're using After Effects, I do believe they call it a solid. So I'm going to add a white plane or solid, and that's going to help me see that there's still a lot of noise in the background of my shot. So I'm going to go into the different controls for the effect, for the chroma key effect, and you can see there's a lot of stuff that I can do. So I'm just going to do some different things in order to get rid of that nasty background, the fuzz, the noise. Right, so now that I've done that, I'm grabbing a stock image I got. I will link it in the description, royalty free and all that. And so I'm going to drag it onto the timeline. And already things are looking pretty good, but if we notice, I look a little bit overexposed. I don't fit with the lighting of the scene. So I'm going to drag on the brightness and contrast effect. Everything has a brightness effect, no matter what you're using. So, even if you're using iMovie, you can just slide the little dial. So I'm going to throw that on, and I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to turn the brightness down and the contrast up. Yeah, so you just have to sort of analyze, how the scene is lit. And I lit myself, to sort of fit the scene a little bit. So I have a little bit of light on my right side, well, our left. Yes, so it's looking much better lit into the scene. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to open up Elements Pro 2017. And I'm going to go into the Action Textures pack. I'm going to open up the Surface Elements, and I'm going to drag on one of the lens dirts. I would recommend either 1 or 3 for this project, but honestly, you can use whatever. 2 would actually work. You can use either of them. So I'm going to set the blend mode to screen. You can do this on any compositor, so it just fits in with the lighting of the scene and also removes the black background. Then I'm going to change it into a 3D plane so I can easily adjust its scale, or you can just, scale it up however you like. So I'm going to make it a little bigger and a little smaller there, and I'm going to move it down a little bit. It's just, you just want to, figure out where you want to place it. It's a stylistic choice where you want to place it. Then I'm going to turn the opacity down to about 14 or 9. I'm going to go with 9. So now, if we look at it, it's looking good. So we're going to go into the transform properties, and we're going to turn on the opacity of the lens dirt, and we're going to go through the clip, and everywhere the flashlight sort of flares at the screen like that, we're going to bring up the opacity on the lens dirt, because that's how lens dirt interacts. When a bright light hits it, it's going to get brighter, because it's essentially simulating dirt on your lens, which would interact that way. And so we're just going to go through and change it just like that, so it will interact well with the flashlight. And then we can play it through, and we can see that it's looking pretty good. We've taken out the blue, we have added the background, and we've added the lens dirt. So now we are going to jump back in to Elements Pro, and we are going to go, and we're going to go into the Cinematic Filters pack, and we're going to drag in the Ultimate Cinema filter, and we're just going to let that sit in our media bin. And then we're also going to go, and we're going to go to the Environment Lights pack. We're going to go to Volumetric, and we're going to drag in the Volumetric Smoke. I'm going to throw that in there too. So then we're going to take the Volumetric Smoke, we're going to put it on top of everything but under the lens dirt. So we're going to put it under the lens dirt on the timeline. And we're going to turn it into a 3D plane so that we can flip it around. And then we are going to go into its transform property after setting it to a screen blend mode or something similar to that. And we're going to scale it up like that. And then we are going to go and adjust its opacity. You can see that it's blending in better with the lighting if we flip it this way. And we're going to change its opacity down just a little bit. And then that is our smoke. We're going to bring it so it matches all the other stuff. And we can see that, yes, it is looking pretty good. So then we're going to go and we're going to drag in the Ultimate Cinema filter that we brought in a little earlier. We're going to stick it on the timeline, and we're going to scale it up to fit the entire comp. And obviously these colors are very, very exaggerated. So we're going to go and we're going to turn its opacity down. You can sort of fiddle around with it. This is another stylistic choice that you can make. But I'm going to set it at something around 19 or so. But again, it is a completely stylistic choice. And you can sort of, toggle it on and off as you go to see how much of a difference it's making to your shot. And so then we are going to go and we're going to go to the Film Looks pack, and we're going to grab the Cinema Matte effect. We're going to drag it on to our timeline. Just like that, above everything. It's going to go above everything, even the lens dirt. And we're going to drag it up so we have a black sort of border on the top and bottom. And this is sort of simulating compressed footage, and it looks, makes your shot look much, much more professional. Because it's pleasing to the eye, and so we're going to go back through there, and we have our finished shot. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, welcome to the HS Elements community. We here at HS Elements cannot wait to begin this visual effects journey with you. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for more tutorials. If you have suggestions, we'd love to hear them. Thank you guys all so much.